Welcome into the Patriots Dynasty review. 2023 season, regular season is over. It's January 9th. We're waiting for the playoffs to start. Patriots aren't. They're at home deciding what they're going to do about Bill Belichick. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. Brian, I know it's a kind of a gross team to talk about all year long, but Patriots, what comes to your mind when you think of the Patriots 2023 and beyond?
Just terrible. Like they're just so bad. Like I think I can't remember exactly what year, but I think this season, like it was the most losses the franchise has had since like 1993 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that pop up during that Jets Patriots game, or maybe it was right after. I don't know, but it's hard to remember where this stuff pops up when you're watching Red Zone.
Yeah, I think they had like a streak going in the middle of the season where they had like 4 straight games where they gave up like 10 or less points and they lost all those games. Like it was like, what? Yeah, they lost to the Colts 10-6, Giants 10-7, Chargers 6-0. And then that was 3 straight games. And then there was another game I think they gave up 10 and potentially lost, or maybe not, but it was just like, man, it was like the 2 teams that had given up the least amount of points. It was like the Patriots and the 49ers, the only team to give up less than like 40 points in a 3-week stretch. And then, yeah, Niners 3-0, Patriots 0-3. 4-13. I don't really know what they're going to do with Bill Belichick. They haven't made a decision yet, which makes sense. Like you're not going to fire him like they did with Arthur Smith. Like the minute, the midnight of the season ending or whatever. But this team's going to go through a lot of changes, obviously, with or without Bill Belichick. They have the 5th most cap space. They have the 3rd overall pick in this draft, which is super valuable because, again, there's 3 quarterbacks. There's potentially, I've heard as many as 6 quarterbacks potentially taken in the first round. I think 3 are basically a lock for the top, maybe top 3, but it definitely in the top 5 to 10, and then a couple more in there. So, if Chicago takes Marvin Harrison, Patriots are going to get either Caleb Williams or probably Jake May. They could get Jaden Daniels. So we still don't really know we think it's Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels from LSU, but don't really know exactly. Maybe Daniels jumps over him. Free agents for this team, a couple of names of note. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, who had a good run there at the end. He was probably a top 10 or 15 running back to end the season just from pure volume, I'd say. They had Kendrick Bourne is the wide receiver of note. Matthew Slater is probably the least known player who may make the Hall of Fame ever because he's like a special teams. All he does is play special teams, and he's been doing it for like 20 years or 15 years or something, and he's just like really damn good at it. But anyways, nothing to do with fantasy. And then Hunter Henry is a tight end, that is a free, and Mike Gesicki and Farrell Brown. They're top 3 tight ends, but Hunter Henry's the big one there. So yeah, I guess we'll get into the quarterbacks. It's Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones. I guess roster both. Obviously, Mac Jones, you still need a roster, but like, is it just one of those cases like you can't sell him because you invested maybe a mid first round pick on him in a dynasty rookie draft, like, and you just kind of hold out and see where he goes and if he can maybe turn it around? Is that how you're approaching Mac Jones at this point?
I guess, yeah. Like he showed a little bit of promise as a rookie. Not a little bit. Like he did actually pretty good as a rookie, like for a rookie anyways. He wasn't like lights out or anything, but it was kind of like, all right, let's see where this goes. But we know like the Patriots kind of MO in general. And I wonder how much like that team is going to change if Belichick doesn't stay around, or, if they don't keep him, however that scenario goes. But yeah, I agree. I think he's just a solid hold. Like, I don't know. You can't get anything for him.
I mean, if someone said, here, I'll give you the 2 the 210 in this year's draft, would you take it, or would you just kind of hold Mac Jones?
Yeah, I probably would take it just because I don't think he's going to be a starter next year. I mean, we know Belichick, if he's there, he's obviously already moved away from Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
If he's gone, what incentive does the new regime have to keep Mac Jones around besides as a backup?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I just don't think he's going to start this next year. I think he's just kind of in the tank. So yeah, I would take a late second, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I might hold. I don't know, just see what happens. There is a chance. And it's kind of the same with Bailey Zappi. I'll hold for now. What if the Patriots, what if the Bears take Caleb, Commanders take Drake May, and then the Patriots don't like Jaden Daniels, and they just say, no, we're taking Marvin Harrison, and we'll roll with Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi one more year. So obviously there's value in any starting quarterback in Superflex, which is, I don't mention it, but that's what we approach things by, and how all dynasty leagues should be is Superflex.
So I just put Mac Jones and a 2024 late second into the calculator. It said in order to make it even, you have to give up the 301 on the Mac Jones side. So
jeez,
you're literally using Mac Jones to move up 4 spots or something like that. That's pretty bad.
That is bad. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far. I don't know. That's pretty, just to move up 4 spots. Yeah, I wouldn't trade Mac Jones to go from the 301 to the 210. So
yeah, I don't think so either. But
yeah, and it is. We should note, offensively, this team didn't for his entire 3 years there. Who's the receiver that comes to your mind for him? Kendrick Bourne was third on this team in receiving yards, and he missed half the season. He was, I think he got hurt in week 8, and he's third on this team in receiving yards. And what other guy comes to your mind? Jacoby Myers, I guess.
Yeah,
Hunter Henry.
It's just Jacoby Myers and Demario Douglas from this year, basically.
Yeah. And they're fine players, and obviously not the best offense. They had freaking Matt Patricia, who's the defensive coordinator for the Eagles right now. He was their offensive coordinator last year. It was just so maybe if you get a bit is the skill level between Brock Purdy and Mac Jones that far off? Probably not. Is Brock Purdy a better quarterback? Obviously. Is he maybe just sees the field better? Probably. But in terms of their ability, they're not that far off. If you put Mac Jones in the San Francisco system, he'd probably be fine. He'd probably be, what Jimmy Garoppolo was for the 49ers there. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess my point is don't trade him to move up 4 spots from the 301 to the 210 is what I was getting at. Running backs, it's Ramondre and Zeke are the only really guys to talk about. Ramondre, I don't even know where he's at in keep trade cut. Would you take any second from Ramondre? Would you hold on to him? He's still pretty young. Started off slow last year, but in 2023. But I was just seeing where he finished in half PPR. I think he was a top 20 guy from when he played. So what are you doing overall with Ramondre Stevenson?
Yeah, I would definitely take an early second for him. But I think he's a solid hold. I think he is going to be the dude next year. I still see him as finishing as RB 36 in only 12 games. That could be a little off because I am looking at our league specifically.
So yeah, RB. I think I saw that too. And then if you go from weeks 1 to 12, he's RB 23, 11.3 points per game in half PPR.
Yeah, and you need guys like that on your team. That's a great depth piece / you can start him. If he's a top 24 running back, you're not happy starting basically the worst RB2, but we've seen what this guy can do, and he could be a good safety valve for whoever is throwing the ball for the Patriots next season. So I think think he's a solid hold unless you can get a high end number 2 or second round pick.
Yeah. And you have to look at those numbers. Like when you look at RB2s, sometimes wide receiver 2s, whatever, you have to look at like stretches. Like, is he Jerome Ford where he was literally RB24 every week, like averaging, getting 10 points? No, because weeks 6 up until 12, he was the RB13 with a bye. So he was probably closer to like a top 7 running back. And that's pretty significant. That's 6 games where he's the RB, a top 10 running back, which is, 40% of your fantasy regular season. Like, so we saw him. And if this team just overall gets better, he definitely, I agree with you. I think he's a hold potentially. If someone's willing to give him up for like, I have the 212 or something or 210, I'd throw it at him and pick up Ramondre for sure. I think he's going to be fine for this coming year. So Zeke, a hold, see where he goes. And, if he's the RB2 somewhere, he probably has some value, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I don't think you can get much for him. But that's kind of like what it comes down to. Like, let's see if I put Ezekiel Elliott
RB58 and keep trade cut. He's right there with Clyde.
So they're valuing. Well, that's terrible. Okay. Yeah, so they're basically saying you should trade Adam Thielen or Juwan Johnson for him or something.
Mid 26th, third, like 26.
Yeah.
Nah, just keep him.
Yeah, you might as well just keep him at that point because what is that even worth?
Yeah.
If you could get a 2-year from now second pick, that kind of thing, like I would definitely take that, or maybe even a 26 second if you're really like in full rebuild mode. Like, let's say you rode Zeke like all the way into the dust, and he helped win you a championship or two when he was still good, or when he was still the man, basically. Because it's hard to say that he's not good because we saw him be like somewhat decent. Obviously, like it was more in the passing game than anything, and he was just getting tons of checkdowns. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind selling him. Like if that was a 2026 second, I might do that just for like, just keep that in your back pocket for a few years. Because what else are you going to do with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to float around. Like, he was the RB9 from the time Ramondre got hurt from week 13 to 18. He was the RB9, mostly due to volume. He wasn't amazing, rushing for 150 yards. Some teams are going to bring him in. They're going to trust him as their RB2. A guy that, he's not going to fumble the ball. He can pass protect. He can catch the ball. He's a veteran. Like, Latavius Murray's had a job forever, and the dude's like 33 years old, like, because teams just trust him. Like, so, yeah, well, he is 33. Oh, wow, he's 34 tomorrow. No. What? It says he's 33 and 356 days old. Doesn't that mean he's... No, it's 365.
Yeah,
that's right.
So he has like another week.
Yeah, January 18th. I thought for a second there was only 356 days in the year. But anyways, yeah, he's definitely like I agree with you. If I can get any second for him, whether it's 3 years out, I'll take it. But
yeah, definitely.
Other than that, no thanks. The receivers, it's really just Demario Douglas. I mean, Devontae Parker feels like a roster clogger. Juju, I'd still hold on to Juju, I guess, just because we did see him put up almost 1,000 yards with the Chiefs the year before. All right, so we're obviously keeping Demario Douglas. Could be a nice, solid flex play. Devontae Parker, is he just kind of a cut for you at this point?
Yeah, I think you're cutting him to make room for a rookie, basically. Yeah. Like he's one of those guys you can throw away.
Yeah. Juju, holding him, see where he goes. He's a free agent. Oh, wait, is he a free agent? No, he's not a free agent. You just kind of holding him, see what the new offensive scheme looks like. Like potentially, could he have an Adam Thielen year next year because he's the wide receiver 1 by default type of thing? Like holding on to Juju.
Yeah, I guess so. Like I'm not holding on to him super tight. Let's put it that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
He is. I know, like whenever we talk about Juju, it's like he is surprisingly young.
Yeah,
because he
just turned
started.
27.
Yeah, he started when he was 20, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he can still go somewhere and be relevant, but the thing is, no one really seems to want him.
Yeah.
So that's kind of part of the problem. Like, I think he would have to be at worst like behind like a stud receiver to be kind
Mm-hmm.
of fantasy relevant, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I bet you the Chiefs would want him right now for sure. Like they
Yeah.
want him back. I think it's underrated. Like, could people always reference like, "Oh, Mahomes didn't do it with receivers last year." It's like Juju's a professional receiver. Like, he's not going to put up 1,500 yards, but like, he's a professional receiver and knows what he's doing, and that's a lot of value. Obviously, you see it. I actually just the more I think about it, I originally thought, he's a cut. No, he's definitely not a cut. Like, wouldn't be surprised if Juju is kind of has like an Adam Thielen year next year because again he's kind of the de facto. They bring in a good offensive coach. They draft what if they draft the CJ Stroud of this year's draft, right? And Juju is the main guy. Like it wouldn't shock me, I guess.
So what if Juju goes to Carolina? Would you and Thielen's still there? Like, who would you rather have? I guess Juju because he's younger, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Probably, yeah. But he's should be on this team. I mean, I don't know. I'll double check his contract. I don't think they can cut him though.
Yeah,
I
no,
think I
I
checked that.
think they gave him a little bit of money. And they basically gave him the contract they should have gave Jacoby Myers, right? Isn't that what happened? Like they got rid of Myers, and then gave Juju like basically the exact same contract that Myers got from Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so his cap hits 10 million next year, which is actually not a lot for a wide receiver. And his dead cap's 12. So I don't really see why they would just cut him. Just kind of have him there for a year. Yeah. Kendrick Bourne, he's a free agent. He's kind of older. He's probably older than Juju, to be honest. We've seen stretches this year before he got hurt. He was a wide receiver 3 a couple of years ago. He was a wide receiver 3. He's not going to move the needle, but you want to hold him, see where he goes, or just kind of cut him?
Not really. Like, I think I'd be fine cutting him, like making space, because I mean, we got to keep that in mind. Like, everyone's going to have to make a little space for your rookies. So, like, if you're cutting him to make space for your 3rd round pick, like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So you're saying you don't really, yeah. Okay. So when rookies come in, he's probably one of those guys you're cutting. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one really to talk about. I mean, Tyquan Thornton was a 2nd round pick, maybe. A year, I think in 2022, he hasn't shown anything. Yeah, he was a 2nd round pick. I don't think he's going to be much, but like if I had to choose between him and Kendrick Bourne, I'd hold on to Thornton just because there's, potential there, I guess.
Yeah, and super fast, right? Isn't that his deal? Like, he's just like, wasn't he like the fastest receiver that came out last year?
Yeah, 4.28 in 2022. So yeah, he was probably did run the fastest. 3rd fastest in 2022.
Oh.
It was unofficial 4.21, which would have been an NFL Combine record, but it was ruled that he ran a 4.28, the 3rd fastest. Damn, who else is running faster than him? Yeah, and then Keyshawn Booty, whatever. He's a cut. I just mentioned his name just because he was like a huge prospect coming out of high school and just never really put it together, drafted, blah, blah, blah. Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki, not Mike Gesicki, but Hunter Henry, kind of holding on to for now. See where he goes. He's a free agent. Or is he also a kind of a cut?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it just like you have to like know your league and like how deep are the tight end stashes going in your league, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously like he's basically been like this year he was tight end 18, missed a few games. Last year he was 21. So it's like if everyone's rostering 2 tight ends, I guess you could do worse than Hunter Henry, and we've seen him be really relevant before. As far as like, I mean, he's kind of just, you know, like he's that 4 for. What did you call him? 4 for 40?
4 for 50, 4 for 40. I
Yeah.
call him 4 for 50, but I mean anywhere from like 3 to 6 catches and 30 to 60 yards, essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm fine cutting him. Obviously not in tight end premium. So like I said, like you have to know your league and like how deep the stashes are and everything like that. How big is your bench? That kind of thing. So
yeah. I will say this, like if someone really loves, I have like Tucker Kraft, and someone's like, man, I'll trade you, you know, the 301 and Hunter Henry for Tucker Kraft. Like I'll just do it because I don't think like at the end of the year we're going to be looking at Tucker Kraft and Hunter Henry. They're not going to be that far off in terms of like, even if they are kind of far off in total points, like in terms of like the difference they're going to make on your team, you know, with tight ends is very few guys are making a huge difference. So if there's a guy like a Cade Otton is another guy where it's just like someone really likes Cade Otton, they're going to give me a pick and throw in Hunter Henry. It's like, yeah, fine. And I'll just roll with Hunter Henry and a couple other guys in that range and probably find one that's going to be usable, you know, or all three of them are going to be usable. So, yeah, I think that's it.
We didn't really talk about Demario Douglas. Like he's an obvious hold. But all right, so would you take a late 2nd round pick for Demario Douglas and just kind of capitalize on the draft? Because he was undrafted in our league. He was a very early waiver pickup by you, actually. Just because, yeah, like not a lot of competition for targets. But what do you think about Demario Douglas?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a solid bye-week replacement flex, and so we play in a start 10 team. In that kind of format, I don't think he's really gonna be like you want studs in that format. Like it's 10 teams. If you play in a 12 team start 10, kind of the same, not the same as just 10 team, but still pretty. Like Demario Douglas, if you're starting him every week, it probably means your team's not doing too well. So maybe deeper league, start 11, start 12, he's fine. But yeah, if it's like a standard 12 team, starting 10 or 9 or whatever, I'm fine with moving on and getting a 2nd round, a late 2nd. Maybe it's one of those where I'd maybe want to wait and just see how the draft's playing out. And if there's a guy like that fell that I really like, I could, right now it's hard to like, is there someone in that range that's going to be what, Demario Douglas? Like, so as of right now, maybe not, but as we get closer to the draft in super flex, like I said, if there is 6 potential quarterbacks going in the 1st round, that's going to push a lot of nice running backs and wide receivers down into the second round and stuff,
Yeah.
So this draft for sure, I'd probably do that. But if I could kind of wait on that as we get closer and I can kind of like map out how things are going to play out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Ideally, I'd want to wait. So what would you do? Like, would you kind of see him as just kind of like that bye-week replacement flex guy, a lot better in PPR than
I don't know. It's kind of hard. So I looked up the what Keep Trade Cut is saying right now, and it's like he's almost exactly worth a late 2nd. So I'm kind of surprised by that. Like I was kind of like, yeah, I would definitely take the late 2nd. Maybe even probably not an early 3rd. I don't know. If you're getting an early 3rd, it's like you could probably get another like a 4th rounder thrown in there and just kind of re-roll them, like you like to say. I'm just gonna use that every now and then.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Or use that second to combine that and with use that second, combine it with another receiver in the Demario Douglas range. Like I'm looking at it here, like Dontavian Wicks is right above Douglas. Like, okay, I'll add that second you gave me for Douglas to Dontavian Wicks and get Christian Kirk. I don't know if you could get that, but something along those lines or something. You could do that as well.
Would you rather have Dontavian Wicks over Demario Douglas? I think I'd rather have Douglas.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just because the receiving room is so crowded in Green Bay right now. There's a lot of young guys, and it's kind of like, what the hell is the pecking order? Like.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's Reed and then Watson. So I think Wicks at best is the third there. I know we're not talking about the Packers, and it's like, I don't know. He had a couple good games there, but I think, I definitely take Douglas over Wicks for sure. I was just a little surprised to see that, like both of those guys that high, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably would if I had to right now. I probably would take the late second. For him. But yeah. We did spend. This is our long. Surprisingly enough, it's our longest video so far. Is the freaking Patriots. Yeah, there's a lot's going to change, all the way from coach to potential, obviously the quarterback. So, any last words on the Patriots?
Nope. I hope they continue to suck because we all hated them for a while.
I know
because they were winning so much. So yeah, just keep sucking, Patriots. No one likes you still.
Yeah, it's like there's no sympathy whatsoever. Like,
yeah, no one cares.
You won so many Super Bowls, so. But yeah, we'll finish up there, and we'll be back with the Chargers. They have the 5th overall pick. So as always, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.